We finished writing The Wire a decade ago. And the critique of the drug war that is embedded in The Wire is the idea that it doesn't work, that the police department had lost its way in a stat game that led nowhere, that they lost the ability to police what was valuable and to do the job that is essential to a good police department, and instead they were making drug stats that were basically just leading to a cycle of marginalizing the population they were supposed to be protecting in the city they were supposed to be defending. So the idea that it was a policy that had collapsed them was embedded. But at the time we wrote it, it was, what we were witnessing was a fealty to mass incarceration, to stat games, to locking up 100,000 people a year in a city of 630,000. We were looking at the idea of a misuse of a police department. But I got to admit, I didn't know it was going to get as dramatically bad as it has in the decades since, which is once you teach a cop not to do police work and to instead throw everybody up on a corner, go into everybody's pockets and make stats, you've taught him how not to make cases. You've taught him how not to use informants and not be used by informants. You've taught him how not to write a police report coherently. You've taught him how not to get on the stand and perjure himself. You've taught him a whole bunch of things that have to do with the, I'm not saying it's rocket science, but good police work is hard. And it involves a number of really talented skill sets. All that stuff was not being taught, and that's the world of The Wire. What the world of The Wire doesn't capture, ending in 2008, is what happened in the decade since, which is that all of these cops who now couldn't do police work, but were being allowed to treat Baltimore as if it was their hunting ground to make money, they became incredibly ruthless and incredibly corrupt. It transcends race. This is now about class. This is an abiding contempt for the underclass as merely the chow, the meal that we get to devour with and make money off of. We were depicting an existential crisis. What happens in an existential crisis in that second generation was that you walk on the job and even the lieutenants and sergeants don't know how to tell you what the job is. They're gone. And the guys who've been promoted are the guys who did the stat game. So you watched an institution hollowing itself out almost geometrically. And that's where it is in Baltimore now. These guys couldn't make a case to save their lives.
Right.